Hi there. This is Sally's Book Club, where we bring you the best books from around the world every single day. Today we're exploring a book called Less Than I, Out of Control, Predicting the Unpredictable. Hmm. Humanity's fascination with the future isn't just about cutting-edge tech, it's become part of our daily conversations, too. Back in the 1990s, an American thinker made some bold predictions about where we're headed. Just like the book's title suggests, he foresaw a world spiraling into, well, chaos. Now, chaos might sound as dramatic as the end of the world, but here's the kicker. Over the past 2 decades, many of his predictions actually came true. So what exactly does this chaotic future look like? And how should we adapt to survive in it? Before we dive in, let's meet the author. Kevin Kelly, founding editor of Wired magazine and organizer of the first Hackers Conference. Fans affectionately call him KK. He believes humans, nature, and machines ultimately follow the same biological logic. Under this biological logic, our world's moving toward unity, whether we're ready or not. When the Chinese translation hit shelves in 2010, it shook up the tech scene. KK earned his Prophet King title here because his 90s internet predictions kept coming true. Tech mobiles like Kai Wen-shang, Lei Jun, Kai-Fu Lee, and Pony Ma all endorsed it. WeChat Pay, Alan Zhang, WeChat's creator, once said he'd hire any graduate who truly understood this book. Why? Because finishing this dense read shows deep thinking about tech's cutting edge. So what groundbreaking ideas does KK present here? How did he map humanity's trajectory so accurately? Let's break it down through three key questions. First, what exactly is this biological logic KK keeps mentioning? Second, why does this 90s theory still resonate with today's tech leaders? So which of his internet prophecies actually came true? Third question, what's KK's vision of the future and how should humanity adapt? Let's start with the first question. What exactly is this biological logic KK keeps emphasizing? Like many young people, KK was an avid traveler in his youth. From age 20, he spent nearly a decade globetrotting. Nature's complexity amazed him while revealing biological logic's immense power. So what exactly is biological logic? In this book, KK begins exploring biological logic through nature's most common communities, starting with bee swarms. Bees are social insects living in colonies of thousands, flying together, working in unison, their synchronized movements suggesting some hidden control. But in reality, there's no central commander, not even the queen bee gives orders. The research shows the queen is basically just a well-fed figurehead. Every worker bee is equal. When one finds food, it communicates through dance movements to nearby bees. Information spreads exponentially until the whole swarm acts. No central control, just countless individual decisions creating collective intelligence. Nature's full of such distributed systems. Ant colonies, migrating birds, fish schools. These systems function through information exchange between equal individuals. No commander, just collective decision-making. This principle scales up through entire ecosystems, from small forests to global biospheres. No single controller, just countless organisms interacting through food chains and symbiotic relationships. So, after all this, you probably think KK's biological logic is just about distributed systems, right? Of course not. Distribution is just how things organize themselves. Nature's true magic lies in its endless capacity for evolution and transformation. When discussing evolution, Darwin's theories naturally come to mind. Evolution thrives through two forces. Heredity maintains continuity while mutation drives innovation. Nature's perfect balancing act. From single-cell organisms to complex life forms, aquatic to terrestrial, primitive beings to intelligent humans, gradual progression through the ages. That's the essence of biological logic KK discovered in nature. If nature operates as distributed system, evolving constantly, why would human society be any different? We think our intelligence makes us special. Let's examine the human brain's actual workings. Modern research shows no single brain region holds ultimate authority. It's all networked collaboration. Billions of neurons exchanging signals to handle everything from breathing to philosophy. Human consciousness emerges from these countless connections, making our brains remarkably similar to bee swarms in their distributed intelligence. Our cerebral network essentially functions as biological distributed system. Now, observe human society, our complex relationships, economic webs, and social interactions increasingly mirror distributed structures. We've moved beyond rigid hierarchies, planned economies, and physical limitations in social connectivity. Despite occasional conflicts, society keeps evolving. Isn't this biological logic in action? That concludes our first topic, how KK unified nature and humanity through biological logic. In essence, biological logic governs all existence. Humans are no exception. Nothing special. We're all evolving distributed systems. Now to our second question. Why does KK's philosophy resonate so strongly in tech? Which internet prophecies actually materialized? I know some listeners might still be skeptical. If human society is distributed, how do we explain our controlled creations? Valid point, we've built controlled systems like cars, planes, ships direct them wherever we choose. TV remotes select programs, robots perform surgeries in unreachable places, even exploring Mars through controlled machines. This top-down control mentality puts humans at the center. That as systems grow complex, aircraft controls overload pilots with signals. Even with autopilot, split-second life or death decisions still fall to human instinct. One wrong move spells disaster. Absolute control becomes tragic liability. Nature's complexity outsmarts us too, like the butterfly effect. An Amazonian butterfly's flap might trigger Texas tornadoes, or maybe just bring sunshine. We can't control weather's chaotic variables. When control fails, KK proposes our path forward, embracing biological logic. Back in the early 1990s, when the internet was just taking shape, KK already foresaw it becoming humanity's most crucial creation, infiltrating every aspect of society. Simple reason, the web's a perfect biological logic system, our inevitable evolutionary step. No central hub, just countless nodes forming this global neural network. Early networks used centralized servers, typical human control mentality, but scaling forced decentralization. Single points of failure were too risky. Now, node failures barely matter. Information reroutes like blood finding new capillaries. The internet solved information flow, creating hive mind collaboration at planetary scale. KK predicted total societal integration, the Internet of Everything, merging humans with tech. Let's see which prophecies came true. First fulfilled, hypertext linking. Those blue underlined words changed everything. KK saw knowledge becoming distributed. No more centralized encyclopedias. Links became knowledge pathways, our digital neural connections. By late 90s, clicking links became our primary info-seeking behavior. Then came search engines, digital Sherpas guiding us through info jungles. Today's knowledge ecosystems, wikis, QA platforms, AI tutors, complete the vision. The web's become humanity's externalized brain, exactly as KK predicted. His boldest call? Internet currency, decades before Bitcoin's white paper. In 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin. Suddenly, mining became a global phenomenon. Using blockchain tech, it operates peer-to-peer without central banks, just cryptographic rules. Now, blockchain revolutionizes everything from stock trades to supply chains, all predicted by KK over a decade before Bitcoin's creation. He even foresaw internet payment systems, from ETC to license plate recognition payments, at tolls. Beyond finance, KK predicted total connectivity from factory materials to livestock, library books to your coffee mug, all networked. This vision has a name in our reality, the Internet of Things. Using RFID and GPS, IoT creates living distributed systems from everyday objects. KK also anticipated globally connected decision-making. Big data and cloud computing match his predictions line for line. Big data expands our cognitive horizons through mass information comparison. Cloud computing harnesses networked processing power for deeper insights. The internet evolves into humanity's collective brain, smarter than any individual. This global neural net surpasses any single human invention's value. Beyond tech, KK's biological logic reshapes modern business management. First principle: companies must adopt distributed organizational models. Traditional top down hierarchies risk stagnation. One bad decision dooms the enterprise. The internet industry thrives by empowering frontline employees, CEOs becoming more like spiritual guides. Much like our bee swarm analogy, every team self organizes with autonomy. This distributed creativity spreads risk management across the organization. Second principle: embrace structured experimentation. That's how companies evolve. Failure is inevitable, but each misstep teaches us how to eventually succeed. Take Jack Ma. We know him for Taobao and Alipay, but behind those successes lie a decade of failed ventures you've never heard about. Na once said if he writes a book, it'll be 1,101 Alibaba mistakes. For every successful product, thousands fail. That's tech's brutal math. But that one hit product, it can fuel an empire. The digital age demands fearless experimentation. When industries adopt Internet Plus models, it's not just about connectivity. It's about embracing biological logic through distributed management. Example: companies using crowdsourcing platforms to harvest ideas globally, exponentially expanding innovation potential. Now to KK's ultimate prophecy: what future awaits humanity? How must we adapt to thrive in his predicted world? The answer's in the book's title: Out of Control but Not Chaotic. It's biological logic's natural order, decentralized yet harmonious. The world will return to distributed systems, evolving through constant adaptation. No single entity holds absolute control. Everything converges toward immigration. Technological progress blurs lines between natural and artificial. As KK says, nature and technology are entering a cosmic marriage. We already see life becoming assembly line products, mass bioengineered crops, genetically modified organisms reshaping biology. Meanwhile, machines gain lifelike qualities: bionic robots achieving human-like appearance and functionality, synthetic organs merging with human biology. This fusion will intensify. Soon we won't distinguish living from artificial, all unified under biological logic. Out of control means dethroning human dominance. No individual holds absolute power. So how do we thrive in this decentralized future? KK's 9 laws draw from ancient Chinese philosophy, particularly Taoism. These distill into 4 survival strategies for humanity. 1. Respect inherent natural laws. 2. Master connection and integration. 3. Embrace experimentation and failure. 4. Cultivate collaboration and prediction. Let's unpack these with real-world examples. First principle: honor natural laws. Everything, nature, humans, technology, follows biological logic's rules. Our survival depends on aligning with these laws, not forcing control. Consider swimming beginners. Stiff over-control leads to sinking, while fluid adaptation brings buoyancy. Experienced swimmers know, relax, and water's buoyancy does the work. Like kite-flying beginners tugging strings versus veterans trusting wind currents, control backfires. Notice the pattern? Surrender control, harness natural forces, better outcomes emerge. Heike's second rule: master connection and fusion. Distributed systems thrive through linkages. The internet's explosive growth stems from its connective tissue, binding society's fragments. True power lies not in nodes, but their interconnections. That's KK's connectivity imperative. For individuals, cultivate social and intellectual networks. Knowledge flows through connections. Companies must build market neural networks, input-output channels with their ecosystems. Products succeed through network effects. WeChat's dominance proves this principle. Nations, too. Open systems thrive through cultural, political, economic cross-pollination. Isolationism, trade wars, cultural rigidity, evolutionary dead ends in KK's worldview. Third principle: Celebrate experimentation and intelligent failure. Biological logic demands evolutionary trial and error, no straight paths to optimization. Our hyperconnected future offers infinite branching paths. We must prototype boldly. Global systems complexity requires reframing failure as data-rich feedback. Silicon Valley's fail-fast ethos embodies this biological imperative. Every crash becomes stepping stone. Nature's 3.8 billion year R&D log proves this works. The fused future demands anti-fragile systems where shocks improve adaptability. Our task? Create environments where controlled failures fuel evolution. Final rule: master collaboration and prediction. Out of control means shared steering. Humans remain crucial navigators in evolution's flow. Like modern planes mostly autopilot but needing human override during crises, future control evolves into human-machine cognitive fusion at decision layers. Imagine this: pilots biologically integrated with aircraft systems, neural interfaces enabling co-prediction during emergencies. But KK reminds us prediction's holy grail remains incomplete, remains incomplete, remains incomplete, remains incomplete. Our knowledge networks still have Swiss cheese gaps, like the butterfly effect. Scientists call this chaos, variables exceeding our comprehension. Perfect knowledge webs might predict weather patterns from butterfly flaps. But KK warns, even then we can't rest, because the rules of change themselves keep changing. Newton's laws ruled until Einstein reshaped physics for cosmic scales, showing how fundamental principles evolve with expanded understanding. As our knowledge expands, so too do the laws governing reality. This metamorphosis of change demands perpetual learning. Humanity's quest never concludes, only transforms. Finally, echoing Lao Tzu's left-pointing hand Tao Te Ching that deeply influenced KK Dash, the sage knows without traveling, sees without looking, achieves without acting. All right, let's recap today's discussion. As Lao Tzu said, the highest virtue appears non-virtuous, thus it is virtue. The lowest virtue clings to virtue name, thus it is virtueless. Different interpretations of virtue exist. Through KK's lens, let's equate virtue with control. Thus, supreme control is relinquishing control. That's true mastery. What's inferior control? White-knuckle grip on power. That's no control at all. It concludes our less than sign out of control deep dive. Full notes below. See you tomorrow.